Welcome to the Emo Social Club podcast, broadcasting to you live from emosocialclub.tv. I am Brian.
And I'm Lizzie, and we're here this evening with our new friends Mick and Max of Snarls. So thanks so much, guys, for hopping in with us and chatting about everything that you guys have been on the roll this year and this upcoming year. It's like you have so many new things. So thank you for coming to chat with us about all of it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys.
Happy to chat with you today.
You're wearing a Sonderbombs t-shirt, I should mention. Friend of the pod.
No, it's actually Sonder, like a clothing brand that my buddy makes. But yeah, like cool connection.
Yeah,
it's a great word. It's
you guys know the Sonderbombs, I know, because
yeah, I was gonna say,
yeah,
but we love
I'm assuming that's like, you know, the Ohio scene is fairly like tight knit, even though we were like, which C of Ohio are you from? But
yeah, for sure.
I'm assuming it's like pretty tight knit, even though it's like 3 major cities and like traveling between all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, got a lot of friends in Cleveland for sure.
We'll just get the big thing out of the way for us, as we were talking about before we started recording. Y'all are going on a tour with Nothing Nowhere, and that's just insane. We should probably introduce who you are, but let's talk about that first. Let's talk about Nothing Nowhere, and then we'll talk about who both of you are.
Oh my god!
Sorry, I forgot. I'm like, no, that's how
silly.
This is our last one of the year. Okay, we are loose and we are light on our feet, and we are having a good time.
Oh yeah.
Alice, no sass. So why don't you both introduce yourselves, and then we'll go into the Nothing Nowhere tour and talk about that.
Yeah. My name is Mick Martinez. I play guitar in Snarls.
I'm Max Martinez, and I play drums.
And what thing are you going to take from your diner or a car dealership or something, whatever place?
Okay. I can't say I've ever done this before, but like I think maybe I need to start stealing forks because forks disappear in my house, and I always have only like 2. So maybe I should just start taking them.
Just when you go to Chipotle next, just grab a handful and be like, "These are mine."
Yeah,
and that's it.
Maybe I should just be stealing a shit ton of plasticware.
And Max, could you talk about yours? Because I know you said earlier before we started recording, but also it seems like it should be free anyway.
Hot sauce and hand sanitizer, the necessities.
Honestly,
just don't mix them up when you're like. Anyway.
No, that's actually what you use as a weapon to defend yourself. Instead of pepper spray, it's actually a hodgepodge of hand sanitizer and a hot sauce of your choice.
I mean, that's kind of just what it is,
dangerous.
Right?
Yeah, Lizzie, for some reason, came into this and was like, hey, what would you steal and how would you use it as a weapon? Like, damn, Lizzie, okay.
We're also a survival podcast. But Max, what type of hot sauce are you stealing primarily? Like, are you going to Taco Bell or are you just going to wherever and you're taking the Cholula packets or what? Or are you walking in Chipotle and taking it?
It's not stealing if it's from Taco Bell.
That's correct. Accurate.
The Chipotle Tabasco from Chipotle is pretty good.
That's a good one.
Yeah. If they have little bottles, I'm not stealing a whole bottle.
Yeah, well, you got to be real ballsy to steal a whole bottle or have somebody else do it, and you're like, that's not me, that's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also like, imagine that you're like in front of somebody using the hot sauce, but instead of using it, you just like take the whole thing and put it in your bag, and they're like, I was gonna use that. Can you steal it after I use it?
Like, I'm not going to snitch on you, but I want to use this on my burrito bowl before you walk out of the store with it.
Take it. I just want some.
That's actually what solidarity is sharing it before you leave the establishment.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I again, condone stealing, and you can't arrest us because this happened forever ago and the statute of limitations is gone.
Or not at all. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Cops.
ACAB.
ACAB.
Anyway, we can jump into your upcoming tour with Gucci High Waters, Port Stacy, and Nothing Nowhere. And how did this all kind of come to fruition? Because I mean, listening to you guys and having people also be like your bubble grunge, which is a whole nother thing within itself.
Yes.
It's like this kind of not even like it's not bad. It's like a left field addition. And I think it's also like cool to start to see like a new resurgence of like a mashup of like different like variety of musics on like tour packages again.
Totally. I am so excited about the mix of genres on this tour. I think it's going to be really fun. But like, there's this, kind of, I mean, what Nothing Nowhere is like this mix of like rock and emo and hip hop and all this stuff. I just think each band on this tour kind of highlights like one of those areas, and all together it kind of ties in with the headliner, I think. But yeah, I'm super excited to play in front of that crowd. I'm excited to play some of like our more emo stuff. Like I think that they'll really vibe with that kind of set. We just came off a tour with a pop rock band, and it was a little bit tough to win over a crowd wanting pop music. But I think we'll be at home with these crowds for sure.
I was listening to watching your audio tree, listening and watching, and there was a shout out to Mike Kinsella in it, and I was like, oh, okay, like now I like kind of like the emo jangly guitar, Midwestern,
the twinkle emo.
Yeah, so I'm like, it all started to make a lot of sense once I heard the Mike Kinsella shout out. I'm like, okay, this is like.
Oh yeah,
it's like a new band doing like a nostalgic style of emo that Nothing Nowhere and other like emo hip hop or other things like would sample and use. So it all does make a lot of sense when you like listen to where it all came from and how it's all kind of dividing and creating and recreating things. So I think it makes complete sense.
Yeah, on the same page.
And then with your recent tour that you just like hopped off of, so you were with M.A.G.S. and then you were also with the Happy Fits. So how was that though? Because like you just mentioned, it was a little bit harder to like kind of win over this like pop rock audience. But I also feel like M.A.G.S. and the Happy Fits were kind of like that in between alt audience too. So it's kind of interesting to hear that you guys are kind of having a little bit of struggle to get them like engaged.
I think a lot of their crowd showed up to have fun, which was good. It was just a little tough playing our sad songs in front of them.
Fair.
So yeah, they wanted to have fun every night, so that was pretty easy to get into. It was just like kind of broadening their horizons a little bit, trying to get them to catch some interest in our little glitter emo vibe.
I mean, like emo has become such a like popular genre thing, buzzword, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, why aren't you just going to be at a show and like randomly, somebody comes out there and it's like, hey, fuckers. Not that you would go out and be like, hey, fuckers, but it's like, we're going to get sad and stuff. And then like Scott Pilgrim it and just like, like I'd be like, oh, awesome, cool. It's a different vibe for the same show. I'm gonna go crazy to it, whatever.
I mean, I will say it is kind of like a different vibe though. Like listening to Happy Fits, they are much more like alt pop, and M.A.G.S. as well. I mean, both are great artists within their own respects. But I could see how, especially if you guys are like, hey, what's going on, everybody? Do you like the twinkle emo? Please like my twinkle emo. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it was also like, I won't say it was like a big struggle, because every night we had a great night with the crowd, and like Max said, they were super willing to like listen to us for the first time and like be into it. Just takes those first couple of songs for everybody to kind of get warmed up to you, but it was also totally on us of putting our two most catchy pop songs right in the beginning of the set, and then close like, yeah, we're going to get emo now. And like that shit lasts the rest of the set. It's like, you don't really know what to expect. Yeah. But yeah, they were the sweetest crowds though. So it was good.
Well, that also on that tour, it looks like you guys also started to do a new like help out with a new series with the alternative, kind of like doing like a behind the stage thing. So how did that kind of come about, and how was that like filming, especially right now with like COVID?
I don't know how that idea got around to us first, but it was a lot. It was a lot of fun doing it. No complaints about great food in the green room, and it was cute. Like
Yes.
we talked about stuff that you don't usually talk about in an interview. Like we're kind of used to being asked a lot of the same questions, and that was not the case at all. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they were super sweet. I really enjoyed that. And it was so nice of them to like spoil us a little bit, like especially being the first band of 3 on like a small tour. You don't always, you don't get your rider and you don't ever get a green room basically. So yeah, it was really nice of them to bring that stuff for us and just like have a really great like down to earth chat. And yeah, filming was super fun. And it was like everybody was safe about it, and it was great.
That's awesome. And I mean, yeah, as like a smaller entity, like you go into those situations being like, I wonder what's going to happen here. Like, what can I get? I mean, also thinking too, what would be if you had, that weird ask? Like, what would be your weird ask? Like to have in the green room?
I don't
Like
know. I think we're pretty
I like
Yeah.
easy.
we're so low maintenance. Like I
Yeah.
can't even think of how I would put anyone out.
Yeah.
Like usually it's
like
a pizza and a case of beer or something, and you're like, cool, I'm good.
right. We keep it simple. Yeah, I don't know. It would be really nice if like every green room had like a steamer or something like that. Like, I don't know, just nice amenities like that, but it doesn't always work that way.
Like a steamer, mini facials for everybody before
Wow.
we go out on
Yes.
stage.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
A personal
Yeah.
masseuse in every room.
Come
I
on.
would love that.
I mean, yeah. I did a show. I was in a mediocre emo cover band. Don't look it up. And
Look it up.
we played at this casino in Iowa, and they were like, "Oh, hey, here's your green room," and I'm like, "Holy shit! There's so much here. This is like so many amenities." And we're just like this shitty little band. But it's like, well, if you want to get like a bigger, name act to come through this casino, you're like, well, we got to have a nice little setup for them. And sometimes you get lucky and you're like, oh shit, yeah. I'm about to iron everything. I'm about to take a shower that I don't need. Like, I don't know. It's just like, I have every option. I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I was totally going to mention the shower. Anytime we'd like come across a nice green room, it's like you always got to take advantage of the nice bathroom or all the good snacks because they're few and far between.
Yes.
Everyone gets stoked about the shower and the laundry in the green room.
And then you would steal the snacks like you were at a Starbucks or a Chipotle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course. Because you don't know if it's guaranteed at the next stop. Come on, you have to
You don't
think
know.
ahead.
You don't know.
Right?
Just pretend you're like a little squirrel and like you are the squirrel hoarding the snacks, and that's it.
Yes.
And it's better.
Yes. When you're out on tour, pretend you're a squirrel. As you know, the old bands like Guns N' Roses and Van Halen did. Pretend that you are a squirrel and take everything from the green room. Store it away for the winter. That was my nature documentary impression.
That was really wild.
Thank you. I'm going to ask you a question in the most boomer style way I possibly
Jesus
can.
Christ.
Because I am 76 years old, so it's going to make sense. I'm up there. I'm close.
I'm up there.
And I mean this with all sincerity and also all kindness. The fuck is bubble grunge, though?
I wish I knew.
I don't know. I've never said that phrase. Probably never will.
No.
I wish you could help me out, honestly.
I wish you could help me.
Like, I get it from like an emo adjacent style, like loud, soft, heavy guitars at some parts and like kind of like more of like a punk mentality in like a rock mainstream scene, I guess, kind of a thing. But it's like poppier and happier and more, like you said, glittery. Like it's a lot of these types of things in something that is like objectively not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be a little bit dirtier and objectively like more male, I guess, like testosterone driven. And it's like, nah, it's not this time. My non-boomer side gets it, but my boomer side is like, the fuck? In my 90s, you're gonna do this?
Yeah, I think it's a really unfortunate word for a cool genre. I think the style is neat, but that word like just makes me cringe. Oh, I hate it.
This is gonna get clipped and then put on like TikTok, and you're gonna get a bunch of people who are gonna stitch it and be like, "Bubble grunge is this," and be like really upset that none of us really fully understand bubble grunge, and are kind of like, guys, we could have named it anything. Like, listen, we've learned from butt rock. All right, we can only go forward.
It comes around. Butt rock is cool now, I think. I hope. I mean, I've been listening to it a lot. I hope it's cool.
Wow, that's is it just Hoobastank?
Guys, okay. I'm gonna make a couple Hoobastands out of you if you weren't already. Hoobastank rules. Hoobastank is so good. Much like bubble grunge, it's just a bad name to describe something that is very good.
We get Hansel from Nightlife on here one time, and he is the #1 Hoobastan, and now Brian is on this Hoobastan train. Like, way too much.
We were on it when we learned they had a cinematic universe. Anyway, enough about Hoobastank. There's so much in the Hooba lore of the Hoobastank world.
Okay.
But I think that there's room for there to be a bubble grunge like thing that like starts. It's more like, I don't want to say happy. It's just more glittery, more shiny, but still sad and emo. Yeah. And then it like comes around. It's like, oh man, like this is exactly what I'm feeling. Like I'm pretty, but I'm struggling.
Yes.
Well said.
I'm so with you.
That's what you. The next time you have somebody ask you like, how are you doing? You'll just be like, I'm pretty, but I'm struggling, and just look at them with like the most sincere like look, like, yeah, you want to challenge me?
What is in this tea, man? I'm getting caffeinated slightly.
It's not even that late, Brian.
Oh, I know it's not. I've had a lot of caffeine today too, so there you go.
And maybe that's it. Maybe you're just reaching your peak caffeine tolerance.
I hope so. I'm trying to stretch it. Where did the term come from then? Like just as a continuation of the question, like where is it? Like why, where, why?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I first saw it on the Spotify Wrapped thing. Spotify for making that a word. I don't know if they made it up or what, but
I saw it like starting to get tweeted out, and Snarls was under it, and I forgot what other bands were under it too. And I'm like, I don't know when this came out, but I need us to stop and chill out, because I'm so tired of keeping up to date with these new subdivisions of these neighborhood of musics, and we need to stop.
I know, it's
tree.
Genre naming has truly gone too far. Ridiculous. People are so sensitive about it. That's the thing.
Like emo used to be such a dirty word, and now it's like, fine, I'm bubble grunge. It's like, hey, I can't fuck with that. I don't know if anybody has any feelings about that.
You're bubble grunge emo, whatever that means.
Yeah. It's just like an intern at Spotify who's like, I don't know, we need clicks. Like BuzzFeed's over here, just like 11 bands in Bumble Grunge. Bumble Grunge is a dating app.
Wow, that's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah, it goes loud, soft, and there's gravelly vocals when you go on. But yeah, BuzzFeed's just like, 11 bubble grunge bands you need to know. Number 11 will blow your mind. Number 5 will punch your dog. I don't know.
What?
There's always
No,
like
that's
that.
just mean.
Well, there's always like that random thing in like the BuzzFeed like push. It's like read this article or
Brian, that's called clickbaiting.
Yeah, I
First
know.
of all. Okay.
Do we
There's a
think that
word
bubble
for
grunge is
it.
not a clickbaity word? Like that's why I said it like a boomer. Is like it's clickbaity. But also probably works. Like I have no doubt that it like absolutely will get people interested because they'll be like, A, why? B, what? Let me find out. Let me get interested in it. And then you find out, oh shit, this is all the stuff I already like.
Right.
Again, some internet Spotify. It's like I was on my Spotify and I was like looking through like the different like playlists and it said POV, you're a young person on this app. And that was the name of the playlist. And I was like, what does this mean? So I clicked on it and I'm like, oh, this is literally everything I already listened to and like newer pop punk and newer emo. And then that's it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Is that the get? It's like I don't even see Olivia Rodrigo on here. I feel like we're missing something here, bestie.
Wow.
Wow, that actually is shocking.
Yeah.
Honestly.
She's the most teen angst right now of most artists.
I think the Teen Angst really came out when everyone tried to buy her tickets and they understood real teen angst in the moments where you're queued up in line for 45 minutes and then when you get in, you can't get tickets. And if you do, they're over $200 per ticket.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some people really upset about not getting those tickets, but I do think it's cool that she's still doing like some smaller venues. She definitely could be like in some really big spots or like arenas, but I think it's cool that she's still kind of getting her bearings with touring.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember seeing a lot of TikToks criticizing her for it, and it was coming from a lot of people who, when they were like explaining it, they're like, well, I've gone to see these larger artists at like here in Chicago, like we have United Center, like Allstate Arena, things like that. And I'm like, well, still comparatively, she has done very well, but could she maybe sell out those larger venues? Maybe, unless she had like somebody else to tag along with. So I feel like her doing those smaller venues, like, makes sense, like, logistically in the long term. But to also see people, obviously it sucks whenever you don't get tickets to an artist you really want to go see. But, it just kind of makes sense. Like, obviously her next step would probably be to play music festivals in the summer, reevaluate, and then probably come back for, like, those larger venues, like the Live Nation venues.
Right, and, like, people want their tickets so bad, this smaller run, like, creates the hype. And then people are gonna, when she plays arenas on the next tour, they're gonna, like, sell so well because people didn't get their tickets last time.
That's marketing for you, baby.
I know. It's like, oh, it's sold out. I got to get tickets to the next one. Yeah. It's a game of the music industry that I don't like that people have to play. It's like, dude, I just want tickets. I just want to see it. Come on. Like, I'm a fan. Damn. And I think, like, I think that Olivia Rodrigo being a younger female in a rock/pop space, like, that is going to sell a lot. Like, anyway, that's just going to sell a lot. She's had, like, the biggest record of the year, and she's had, like, 2 major singles. It's like, yeah, you're going to sell it out. You're, like, everything that, like, teenage girls want to go to a concert to see.
Oh, yeah.
And me. But, like...
I did not get Brian and I tickets. It was very upsetting.
You down.
I literally finished teaching my class and I said, hey guys, it is 8:40 and we're ending early, but I'm trying to get Olivia Rodrigo tickets. So we're going to go.
I'm canceling.
Thanks.
I do think it is, well, we're doing our best, and Lizzie is mostly our person that does this in general, but finding bands with female or in general just non-men artists that are, like, doing this, good stuff, going on tours, like getting booked for shows. I saw a tweet the other day. It's like, damn, it's like none of you guys even know a girl to put them on a show.
None of you have even
Literally.
spoken or looked
It's
at
like,
a woman.
have you talked to a girl before? Some of them play music. You could put them on a gig. It's not that big a deal. So I mean, I certainly, like, we were talking the other day and I'm like, do we know any other like artists in Chicago? And Lizzie's like, yeah, Brian. I'm like, well, I don't listen to them because I'm 100. So I'm trying to like get more into like that side of it where it's like, yeah, let me find some newer artists, because it does feel like the up and coming artists now, the ones that are going to be selling the most tickets and getting the most hype around them, are going to be bands that are not like all straight white males up on a stage playing sad shit about girls. It's going to be more wide ranging. There's going to be more different things that you can, you know, go to a show and hear and see and enjoy. I don't know. Like, do you feel like, I don't know. I mean, we've already talked to multiple bands from Ohio that have women in it, and I'm like, I'm trying to find 4 more in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm like stoked about this real like push right now for diversity on tours and festivals and stuff. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I'm super excited to see a lot of marginalized people that I know like thriving in music right now. It's really exciting. There is also the flip side that I like to talk about, though, about like not being obsessed with it and just like supporting your marginalized people, but not like I don't know, bringing attention to them just because they are who they are. So there's like a fine line between that we're like treading right now. Like I don't know. It's kind of frustrating when people are like, yeah, we like, here's this tour, and it's like all female fronted bands. Woo! It could just be labeled like a bunch of cool bands, you know? But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I feel like that's always been like the counter argument to it anyway, and like the worry that, oh, you're just gonna put this together because they are non-males in these bands. But I think we've also seen, and at least like, I mean, at least because I'm usually the person who reaches out to like book our guests and everything. Like, I'm just reaching out to people. I'm like, do they have really good music? Do they do like really cool projects? And like, do they just so happen to be somebody who's non-male? Do they just so happen to be somebody who's POC? It's like, okay, cool. That's awesome. And it works out that way. And it's just being more open, I feel, after a certain point. Just like not limiting yourself to this like one-way street of being like, I'm just going to go with whatever this may be.
Yes, totally with you. I am stoked though, like just about how many of my like friends that I know, especially women that I know in music, that are just like thriving right now. It's so exciting. And I love seeing more and more like, especially men, like standing up and being like, you know, fighting for our advocacy, I guess.
Yeah, it is a fine line of like saying, hey, we're going to just put this tour together because, like, I think that the people at the top, who are generally men, are like thinking like, oh, I want to do this because I want to take advantage of this moment when people are more interested in these genres, in these types of people. So I'm just going to put this together and like whatever. I think there's been a number of signings like to labels where it's like, okay, you just signed a black artist. Like, you don't have any other black artists on your label. You just signed a black artist. That does seem weird. At the same time, I'm like, hey, if it gets it done, like if we're at least moving the needle in some way, I think that it is an overall benefit. But I do see it like, you know, and the rock scene is notoriously very open-minded, and we love everything, and we have no issue at all with new people entering the scene. We don't gatekeep, we don't girl boss, and we don't gaslight. So it's like, in the rock scene, I think that there has, I mean, traditionally been a lot of like, no, this is ours, stay out. That's your lane. This is our lane. And now that it's like opening up, people are still fighting against it. But I'm also like, yeah, there's no closing the door again. The door is open, and everyone of all backgrounds, of all cultures, of all influences, of all genres are coming in, and they're making music, and we're We're breaking down genres. There's no genre anymore. It's all music genre. The genre's music.
No more bubble grunge. No more bubble grunge.
Yeah.
It's already over.
No, we already ended it. We started and
It's already
ended
over.
it in this podcast.
That's really crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It is like that thin line. I definitely agree with you. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Like, I certainly do find myself being a little bit more interested in things that aren't the same as what I've seen before, what I've heard before. And sometimes I'm like, am I only listening to this because it's a female singer instead of a male singer? Am I only listening to this because it's more hip hop based because there are black artists in it? Am I listening to this for, like, what reason am I listening to this? And it's like, because it fucking rules, dude. Like, that's why you're listening to it.
That's all that matters. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my point. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Well, something also was obviously some of your music that slapped pretty hard enough for NPR to put you guys on their new music playlist.
Like,
Listener at home, it was a face palm.
Like, I have no words.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's my reaction.
Like,
Yeah, unreal. We're so grateful for all of them over there, and Bob Boylan, like, for looking out for us a little bit before the pandemic, and just the writers over there that continue to support us. We're like, it's just beyond words. I'm so grateful for them.
So also with that too, you guys had a song featured in a movie called They Them Us. How did that kind of come out? Because I feel like we don't see that very often in general.
So I haven't gotten to see the movie yet, but that was just someone who I think lives in Columbus. I know he's in Ohio, but I'm pretty sure he lives in Columbus. Was just making this amazing movie and really made it a point to, like, feature a lot of local musicians in the film. And was super kind, reached out to our label, and we were super excited to feature a song. We agreed right away.
like, hey, watch this movie. That's me.
That's me. That's me in there.
That's me. Like the moment we all want.
It just premiered, so I'm excited to see it here soon.
And which song was in that movie or did they take a couple?
I believe it's Walk in the Woods.
Okay.
It's like,
So we'll just have to see, like, what they put that music to.
yeah, we're gonna watch it. We're gonna critique it.
I know I don't have more information about, like, what the actual scene is. I'm, like, dying to know. I need to see
It could be a spoiler scene, so we could really just be saving everyone a spoiler alert for all we know. So,
oh, it's in this one scene, this major character. Oh shit.
Oh, sorry, it's like Spider-Man spoilers. Sorry, guys.
No Spider-Man spoilers yet. Hasn't even been a week.
No, haven't seen it yet. Oh my gosh.
Listen,
every time I get on Twitter, I'm like,
it's a
like,
minefield.
I don't know. I actually want to look at my feed, but yeah.
I saw it on Friday, this past Friday, and Thursday. Obviously, it started playing, like, evening Thursdays at theaters. So I don't know why they said in theaters Friday. It's like, it's in theaters Thursday. Shut up, Alice. So Alice said, "Uh-oh, someone mentioned Spooderman," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm really stoked on Spider-Man." Okay.
No, Spooderman.
Spooderman. But, like, somebody had posted a spoiler on Wednesday. Like, clearly somebody who had gotten, like, the privilege of seeing Spider-Man early and is like, "Hey kids, fuck you." And just like, here you go.
Evil.
Yeah.
Evil person.
Like, dude, just steal the hot sauce from Chipotle. You don't need to hurt people like this. This is a crime. Hot sauce is free. Movies are a crime.
It's free.
Spoilers are a crime. Go see it because you will find it harder. I follow all these, like, Marvel, like, deep dive channels because I'm a fucking nerd, but
It's okay.
I'm super passionate about it. So they have been like just going into every minute detail of the movie for a few days, just for those hot clicks, the clickbait, you know. So you're walking a thin line.
I know. I'm really I'm so close to having it ruined for me. I really just need to go see it immediately. I've been extremely lucky to not have it spoiled for me so far.
Yeah, we got back from tour on Thursday, and I saw it Thursday night because there was no chance that I was not going to and have it be spoiled for me.
So Max is literally just sitting here the entire time, like you're literally that meme of the dude in the corner, like nobody here's seen Spider-Man and I can't talk spoilers with them.
Who knows? I've seen Spider-Man already.
That's some serious dedication to go see it the day you get back from a 6-week tour. Because I went straight to my bed.
Look, Max, maybe you can speak to it, but it's really good. It's like really good.
I don't want to start talking about it.
I know.
Because then the spoilers are going to
That's
drop. He's so,
close.
again, he's in the
good.
corner waiting.
It's really good.
We're going to mute both of you and just have a full-on conversation about it. We're going to leave the stream and like, you guys, we're going to talk about Spider-Man and come back and just be like, all right, it's out. I honestly haven't been able to talk about it with anybody because of the same situations. Like no one's seen it yet, but then like it's just breaking box office records or whatever, which everybody says. So I'm like, whatever. But yeah, I'm like, come on, guys, where are you? I need to talk.
At this point, I'm just waiting because when Infinity War, so I'm not a Marvel person at all, but I was like, oh, I had to go to see the last like Avengers, like eventually, like after all the, hoopla died down. And I didn't because my dad came home after seeing it. And then he gave me the entire ending away, and I said, well, I'm never going to see it now.
Oh, that's the worst.
He's like, did you see that this happened? And I said, no, because I haven't had time to go watch a 4-hour fucking movie, but thanks.
Yeah.
It's a 4-hour experience. Thank you.
Who has 4 hours?
I've watched it so many times. You have no idea. I've watched Infinity War and Endgame on like back to back on repeat many, many times over the past year and a half because there wasn't a lot going on. I'm going to go back to talking about music, and this is going to be a seamless transition. Speaking of, the last couple of years where there wasn't a lot going on, you guys actually had something going on because you had an LP come out in 2020. I feel great about that transition. I feel great about it.
The fact that you said seamlessly kind of like made it not as seamless.
That's the point.
No, but really, really bad timing for us to put that out in March. And then everything shut down like 3 days later.
I mean, everybody can then be available to listen to it,
Yeah. We just didn't get to tour on it.
Yeah.
But we still got like great feedback. So we're grateful for even being able to put it out at that time because a lot of people had to delay releases. So we're glad that we got it out. Just looking to move forward.
Well, especially.
So you're basically touring on it now, like over a year later. You're basically touring with songs that you had out in the world.
With us putting out the EP, like during this tour with the Happy Fits, we were playing mostly songs off the EP. Just because our set was short. So anytime we have time to play both the EP and Burst, we'll do that. We just wanted to prioritize the EP songs on this last run.
And how has the general reception for your EP been so far? Besides, obviously, like having Stereo Gum say that it is one of the great EPs of this past year.
I think the reception has been great so far. Getting a lot of good feedback and people, sharing our songs and singing along at shows already. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
And obviously, we'll obviously be hearing this on your upcoming tour with Nothing Nowhere. And do you have any other like music planned or another LP planned for 2022?
Nothing solidified yet. Like, don't have any dates to share or anything, but we definitely are already going to be cranking away at some new music. We're taking a little fall or a little holiday break, but then we'll get back to writing some new stuff. And the goal is to put out another full-length album. But kind of we're just in the conceptual writing stage right now, so nothing super solid yet.
Was it very like, I mean, I'm making an assumption here, but like the EP probably was what came out of like not having a lot to do, not having a lot and having a lot of time, not being able to play shows and not being able to like, you know, be in front of an audience and play new stuff for them and get like that in-person feedback. So I assume now is more of the time of just like, oh, listen to the stuff. Like, I don't want to make new stuff. Listen to the stuff.
Yeah. I'm definitely like that. Chloe, it's funny and is just constantly turning out new material, which is fantastic. But I'm like, oh my God, okay, we just made this EP. Like, we gotta promote this and like get people to listen to it now. I'm not quite ready to move on to the next cycle, but I am excited to write some new stuff though. We're just going in a really like fun, not totally different, just like more specified direction that I'm excited about. But I'm totally on that train though of like, okay, we just put this EP out. We still got to work on this for a little bit.
You have to like wait and like bask in it and be like, oh, this is like really cool. This is really nice, guys. Like, let's enjoy this right now. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's tough though, because like we wrote and recorded those songs over the pandemic or the beginning of it, and so it feels like we've lived with the EP for a while, and now that it's out, you want to let go of it, and you can't because you got to promote it and play the songs and all that jazz.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everything was thrown off, but the cycle of like an album release and like kind of, I feel like a lot of artists say like, hey, we made this, it's yours now. But usually in the way that it is yours now is that live interaction of like hearing the songs live, feeling them live, having the show behind it, and then they move on to the next thing, or they go on different tours and they might play different set lists. But once, you know, that cycle plays out, it's like, yeah, we're moving on. Here's new music. You can learn this music. You can come to the show. You can sing this. But now it's like the band has had the music for so much longer and the audience hasn't had it. And so like songs that we became obsessed with over the last year, it's like, man, I really want to go see, I'm going to say his name. I really want to go see MGK live because I haven't heard these songs played live yet. Right. But it's like, shit, like it's been out for over a year. Like, who's excited for this? Yeah. But like the audience certainly is.
Yeah, we totally run into that. Like with our debut album first, releasing that in 2020, you know, I mean, obviously we weren't playing shows after that, but that album, like, we had already been playing those songs for 2 full years in our hometown. Those were our earliest set list, like, songs. And then, you know, we put it out. We were ready to be done with it. We were going to tour on it, but we were already kind of tired of it. But now it's kind of like it's sat out. People have learned it, and now they expect it at our shows. Yeah, it's funny that those songs are like super, super, super old to us now. And we're really ready to move on, but it's just always play more balls. Yeah.
I did listen to that earlier today and I was like, that's actually a really good song. So now I'm going to be the guy in the audience. So when we see you, if you're like, this fucking guy, that's me. I'm that fucking guy.
And then I'll just add you cowards, because I mean, that's just how you get people to play the songs you want to hear. In my experience, okay?
It works like 25% of the time.
Yeah, and it's fine. I'm usually having a good time when I yell it too, so it's fine. It all works. You confuse everyone around you, and you just say, "Don't worry about it."
Lizzie, do another one. I wasn't ready with another one. But Mike
no,
from Rematch
so-
is here in the chat. So hi, Mike from Rematch.
So, hey, Mike. So, from you guys started as a band in like 2018, and obviously it's 2021, almost 2022. How have you all evolved in this band, and how do you feel you will go forward more so, especially if you're going in this like kind of different, not like fully different direction like you had said, but like a newer avenue for music? Do you think it's going to be anything wildly different from your original stuff when you guys started?
Just sorry, you go ahead.
I know, like, from my point of view and from what I've talked to like Chloe a little bit about, like, I feel like in the last 4 years that we've been a band, like, I've just become a lot more independent and like kind of have thicker skin. And I think that shows in the music and like with her too. Like, we're ready to write like some in your face heavier shit. And like I'm done with my wallowing, my
Okay.
sadness, and I'm ready for like the fuck you songs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, like I think her and I are definitely on the same page about that. While the band has talked about just like going in this like little bit heavier rock, psyche, jammy, I don't really know how to describe it, phase, but I'm ready for some more like kind of in your face, like, I don't know, more hardcore shit.
And it's
So
not going to be
describe-
like, it's not going to be hardcore because there's still Telecasters
No.
on stage, you know.
with the capo on fucking
Yeah.
7.
Yeah. So I think it'll like just settle in a really cool spot if we're trying to do something a little bit more in your face. Yet still retaining like the parts of us that make us us.
Totally. I don't think we'll ever let go of the twinkly guitars
Yeah.
and those really delicate moments, but yeah, kind of, I think ready like lyrically too, to just be like a little tougher, a little more like straightforward. And I don't know, definitely still going to be emo. There's still going to be sad stuff. It might just be with a little more punch, I guess.
No, I'm angry,
not-
sad.
But not so hardcore.
Yes.
People are gonna like crowd kill at your shows.
No.
No crowd killing, but I really hope that like this stuff can induce more like moshing. I don't know. That's the vibe that I'm ready for.
Leaning more into the grunge than the bubble.
Yes.
Look,
Did people mosh at grunge shows? Like, were people moshing to Nirvana?
in Smells Like Teen Spirit music video, they were. Lizzie, I was like 3. Like, what do you want? I wasn't moshing.
I was hardly alive, so I feel like I have to ask.
Yeah. I was but a young man of 38. I don't know. I mean, at this point, like, I have seen bands that are fully acoustic have mosh pits. Like, I've seen everything. No drummer even. Just like acoustic guitar and a cello, or like a standing bass, and that was it. That was on stage. It was just played really fast, and the crowd was like, "I'm going up. Who's lifting me?" It's like, there's an acoustic guitar. What are you doing?
It's all about the energy.
Yeah, you can thrash without, you can thrash to music that is not thrashy, and you can make thrashy music or make non-thrashy music thrashable. I don't know.
Yes.
We're gonna come up with a new genre by the end of this.
following.
It's just gonna be, new thrash is what you're gonna be. And
I don't know,
thrash.
stand-up bass. I feel like there's more things to incorporate there.
There was a lot to incorporate that day.
Yes.
That was Ohio. Foxy Shazam was playing that show, and they were the headliner, and that was the craziest part of the day. So
Oh yeah.
Look, if you're not getting kicked in the head at a show, was it even?
Oh my
were you even at the
God.
show?
What's the point?
Were you
the
even
point?
at the show?
Like, I have these pictures, but I don't have a bruise in the middle of my forehead, so I'm lame, and I should go back.
Did you even go to a show with your friends if you didn't start a wall of death and then yell across to each other, "I'm gonna fucking kill you," and have people like, "You good?"
Here's a story for everybody. We were at Kenny Hoopla a couple weeks ago,
You bet we were.
and they opened the pit, and they were like, "Wall of Death," and Lizzie's friend was across the way, and Lizzie was staring right at them, and Lizzie's wearing a backpack, glasses, and her mask, and I believe still had your phone at the time.
Yeah, no, I gave you my phone because I ran.
Okay.
I was wearing a skirt though.
Yes, and a backpack full of like a laptop and a book. And just like the rest of the room like wasn't sure when the drop was happening, and Lizzie just like drives across the entire venue and just runs right into her friend, and everyone else is like, whoa. Like, okay. Like Lizzie was ready. Shit.
Nobody in there knew how to start a pit.
Yeah.
So
You
I don't
scared
know what else you
literally
wanted.
everybody in that moment. I'm
Good.
like, her backpack carried that weight too, and just like couldn't stop. The inertia just pushed you through the other side.
It's determination. That's all it is.
If you're not like raging at a Kenny Hoopla show, like what are you doing?
We were going off.
I mean that dude yeeted himself into the audience like once every
Yep.
song. So I feel like it was proper in etiquette for us to also yeet at each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lizzie was top yeeter of the night, is all I'm saying. The ultimate yeeter.
That's all I try to do.
It was awe-inspiring. I'm gonna be honest. Like it's a sight to behold.
I
Just the
did have
energy.
some very big men come up to me. They said, "Wow, you really did that." I said,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
Lizzie was the bullet
Thank
that
you.
night. We're nearing an hour. I want to make sure we have a little bit of time for your plugs, where everybody can find you, where everybody can buy $200 tickets. We're assuming you're Olivia Rodrigo status at this point. So
Yes.
where everybody can find you, where everybody can find your stuff, where they can support you. Obviously, everybody's on Spotify, but where can somebody buy your music? Where can somebody give you money?
You can really give us money on Bandcamp. It's snarlsband.bandcamp.com. You can also just stream our music on any music streaming platform. You can follow us on primarily Instagram, but also Twitter and Facebook at snarlsband. And you can listen to our music, buy our merch, watch our music videos, and buy any tickets to shows at snarlsmusic.com.
Love it. All
Perfect.
together, all conducive. I mean, we will at least see you at the Chicago show on your upcoming tour, Hundo P.
Yes. Yay,
We got
so
pre-sale
excited.
tickets. I was so stoked.
Yeah, can't wait to meet you guys.
Yeah. Lizzie has been thirsty to go charge somebody at another show since the
Yeah.
last one. But we're
I
also
think
like,
it's also great too because every time a show that I'm like, oh, like Brian and I could go to this goes on sale, I text them early in the morning, and I'm like, hey, do you want to go to this show? And then like he takes too long to respond, so I say, oh, you're going. I already bought the tickets.
I don't think I've woken up early enough for a pre-sale in a long time.
No, well,
Yeah.
when Meet Me at the Altar and Nothing Nowhere dropped from the All Time Low tour, they announced a show literally the next day here in Chicago. And I was like, well, Brian's going to have to legally go. Like, there's no hell. It's hell or high water. Like, he had to go. And I woke up and said, hey, I bought these tickets and we're going tomorrow
Yes.
for this show that you were unaware about when you woke up this morning.
It's a beautiful thing. Like you just wake up and you're like, oh shit, a gift. Fantastic.
Great.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. Absolutely. See you there. You know, put it in my calendar. Good morning. Gonna have a cup of coffee and, you know, figure out how I'm getting there tomorrow. Are there like, I mean, I don't know. There are a lot of shows that are now like have happened, and there are a lot of shows coming up in like May I see an announcement for May 2022, and I'm like, why now? But is there anything like aside from your own tour like coming up that you're excited about? Anything you're waking up at 7 a.m. for pre-sale tickets?
Oh, I already got my tickets, but I'm very excited to see Courtney Barnett early next year.
Ooh, she's really good live.
Love her so much. I actually went to Chicago to see her one time. It was fantastic.
Was it Pitchfork?
Yes. No, it was at a theater, Riviera.
Oh, the Riv,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a fantastic show. I'm so happy she's coming closer to me this time, and I'll see her in my hometown.
Max, any shows coming up that you're like, oh yeah?
I honestly have not been paying attention. I got to do better.
Yeah.
Your
Gotta be
head
a better
said
music
Spider-Man. You
Yeah.
said Spider-Man.
Yeah,
That's it.
I couldn't. My brain couldn't pass that,
You're like,
and
I
now
need
I'm
that
past
ticket.
Spider-Man, and I don't know what to do.
Nothing to do. The last episode of Hawkeye is tomorrow. The Hawkeye season has been quite good. So there's the final episode of that. Should be real good. You know, there's that, and then there's nothing, and then it's just empty until May of next year for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. You can tell that like I kind of share that. It's like I'll wake up early for Spider-Man tickets, but a concert that'll be around again.
Yeah,
But somebody's going to tell me what happens at the end of that damn movie immediately. Well, I can listen to the album. It's out. I got my priorities. Anyway, we will continue chatting for a little bit over on Twitch with all of our friends that are hanging out there. But I want to thank Snarls for joining us. Mick, Max, this has been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you for having
guys.
us.
Thanks.
All right, y'all.